Hello dear students, welcome to the 6th lecture of the data collection and the methods. This is the final lecture of the data collection and the methods. And this lecture we are going to discuss what we mean by the schedule, measurement and scaling and the field work. Okay, the last lecture we discussed what we mean by this questionnaire and discussing what we mean by the schedule, and after the what we mean by theme is measurement and scaling and what is the field work. Okay, let us start. The first important topic is the schedule. What you mean by the theme is the schedule. It's like the questionnaire. Schedule means is a lot of questions. The questionnaire means you're preparing a lot of the questions, and these questions are given to the respondents, and respondents are filling these questions, send it back to you, the researcher. The theme is known as the questionnaire. And the schedule, the slight change, the investigator preparing the questions and filled himself. The theme is known as the schedule. A schedule is a structure of set of the questions on a given topic which are asked by the interviewer or investigator personally. That means the questions are asked by you or the investor. That means you are the researcher or investigator personally. That means himself collecting the answers. It contains the direct question as well as the questions of the table form. The schedules include the open-ended questions and also the closed-ended questions. So open-ended, closed question, yes or no format, and open-ended questions are free to ask the questions. So there is a different format of this schedule. So the schedule means it's like the format opted by the researcher, and he is preparing the question and collecting the data himself. The theme is known as schedule. But in case of the questionnaire, the questionnaire is filled by the respondents. So here there is an investigator himself fill the schedule. So that is the differences between the questionnaire and the schedule. That means structure of certain questions given to the topic which are asked by the interviewer or investigator person. The theme is known as the schedule, and certain situation we are using the schedule. Suppose the size of sample is very few. For the data collection, we can use the method of the schedule, and otherwise better to use the combination of the questionnaire and the schedule. So that is the example regarding the schedule. So this is one of the important example, the schedule format. That is the researcher himself filling the questions in the questionnaire. That term is known as the schedule. Okay, and what are different types of schedule? We have already discussed the meaning of the schedule. Let us discuss what are important types of schedule. The schedules can be classified into three. The first one is rating schedule, and second one is document schedule, and third one is observation schedule. These are the basic classification of the schedule. The first one is the rating category. That means is rated by the researcher, the respondents. The researcher himself rating. The term is known as the rating schedule. And here the schedule is used to obtain the opinion, the preferences of the respondent. This schedule is basically used for the obtaining the opinion and the preferences of the respondent. That category of the schedule is known as the rating schedule. So that's the first category of the schedule, that's rating. And second one is document schedules. That means as per this document schedules collect the data information about the recorded evidence. That means collecting the recorded evidence. The investigator collecting the data in the form of the recordable evidence. That is a term is known as documental schedule. That means documentary supports. Suppose you are collecting certain information with help of supporting documents, it's known as your documental schedule. It is based on certain history. Suppose the historians are collecting certain types of the information with help of the histories, support of the history. The type of the second category schedule, that's a documental schedule. And third one is observation schedule. An observation schedule means it's a schedule used as part of this observation. The observation is one of the important primary method. That means watching a particular person without the interaction. The term is known as your observation. And we are preparing certain schedule as part of this observation. The term is known as the observation schedule. This is maybe structure or the unstructured interviews to using the part of the observation schedule. That's observational method of the data collection is used as part of this observation schedule. Okay, these are the basic types of the schedule. One is the rating schedule, and second one is the document schedule, and third one is the observation schedule. These are the different categories of the schedules for the data collection. Okay, so what are the essentials of the good schedule? Suppose a good questionnaire have a certain lot of quality, and like the schedule, this have certain quality. And let us discuss what are the essentials required for the good schedule. The first one is the content, and second one is the context, and third one is criterion. There is a construction, the language, reliable, there is the mechanical aspects, and size. These are the essentials of the good schedule. The first one is the content. The content of the question is a very important element of your schedule. You should cover the questions or statement relating to all significant aspects of your study. This is the first important element is the content. Suppose as a good researcher try to involve the entire questions are relating with their study. So that's the first important element is the content. And second one is context. So should suit the context in which applied. Different types of studies need different schedule. Suppose as an observation point of view, there's observation schedule. The preferential point of view, using rating schedule and documented schedule. These are different types of schedules. So as per the using different types of schedule relating with the context, should be suit the context which he is applied. The term is this is another important quality of the questionnaire, that is the context, is focusing on the context. The first one is the content and second one is the context, and third one is the criteria. That means there is a logically classify the response based on opinion expressed. This is a good criteria. That means there is sound logical arrangements of the questions in the questionnaire. The term is criteria. The third important quality of the schedule is the criterion. They should use the logically classify the respondents based on the opinions are expressed. The third important essentials of the schedule. Another one is the construction. The construction are very important, but this is because the schedule have the subsection. Then subsections are one of the important element. Should be constructed in a way that the question should be statement progressively, gradually, in order to for getting the better result. A good schedule or questionnaire are constructed for getting the better result. This construction is a focusing on the subdivide in two parts. This each part of subtopic and another one is the study, and each objectives and separate part may be devoted. So that is a good schedule is a focusing on this good construction. So that the fourth one is the construction, and another one is language. There is a simple language. That means there's a clear and straightforward language is used for the good schedule. That's another quality of the schedule is a straightforward language, and this is reliable. A good questionnaire must be reliable. There should be such that same result are obtained whenever schedule is using. Everything is remains same. This must be reliable for the data. That is one of the important element of the schedule is reliable. There is a mechanical support. The paper used, margin space, spacing, printing, size of the letter, and etc. should be normal. That's the mechanical aspects of the schedule. That means the paper, the margin, your space and spacing, printing is a very important element of the good schedule. Last one is a size. It should not too length nor too short. Should give the fair coverage of the topic. That means your questionnaire should not too length nor too short. That's very logical element of the questionnaire. Sorry, your schedule. It should not too length nor too short. These are the essentials for the good schedule. A good schedule, the must focusing on the content, context, the criterion, the construction, the language, the reliable, the mechanical aspects, and the size. These are the essential for the good schedule. Okay, and another important element is the pre-testing of the questionnaire and the schedule. Suppose we already familiar with the word is a questionnaire. The questionnaire means give a lot of the questions to the respondents, and the respondents fill themselves. The term is known as the questionnaire, and the schedule means the investigator himself collecting the data. The term is known as the schedule. As per the questionnaire and the schedule point of view, one of the important element is the pre-testing. The pre-testing is essential for the validating the questionnaire and schedule. The pre-testing is a very important steps of the survey of the research. And pre-testing is done on a small sample of the respondent for getting the target population. So how to pre-test a questionnaire? One of the important element of the question research is a pre-testing. Suppose you're preparing questionnaire and given to this questionnaire to the sample group, and collecting this questionnaire from this sample group and evaluating the result. Can be identify which is the right question and which is the wrong question, which is the most relevant question, is not a significant question. So we can be easily identify the questionnaire. That means checking the validity of the questionnaire through the pre-testing. So the pre-testing is very important element. As per this pre-testing part, we can measure the reliability of the questionnaire. So as a good researcher, as always, interviewer always try to ensure the quality of the questionnaire and schedule. The pre-testing is a tool is always help to ensure in the quality of the questionnaire and the schedule. A pre-testing is done on a small sample respondent for the target population. After the pilot test, both the interviewer and the respondents are asked a series of questions regarding survey as well as the process of the data collection during the debriefing session. So we can be eliminating the unnecessary questions with help of the pre-testing. You can also validate the questionnaire with help of the pre-testing and measure the reliability of the questionnaire with help of the pre-testing. So the pre-testing is essential for the completion of the good questionnaire or the schedule. As a good researcher, it must be pre-test the questionnaire and schedule. The pre-testing is always ensure the better result in your the survey. So that is one of the important element of the questionnaire and schedule is the pre-testing. The pre-testing is essential for the good study. Okay, the term is known as the pre-testing and the pre-testing of the questionnaire and the schedule. And another one is what you mean by the term is the measurement and scaling. We are framing the questionnaire and the schedule. So, and after that, the coding point of view, there is one of the important element is the measurement and scaling. And we are discussing what you mean by the measurement and the scale. The first of all, the measure. What is the measurement? As a simple meaning of the measurement is assigning the number or the symbols to certain aspects, certain objects. The term is known as the measurement. The measurement means assigning a symbol, word, symbols to an objectives. That is known as the measurement. Suppose time can be expressed in time of the numerical value 9.30, that is 9:30 a.m. Height can be measured with the help of the numbers in the 122 centimeter, and the temperature can be measured in terms of the numbers. So that is a devices assigning the number of the symbol for measuring the something. The term is known as the measurement. Okay, so the measurement means it's like a process of observing and recording the observation that collected as part of the research. It's like an observing and recording an observation that are collected as part of the research. That means assigning the symbols or number for certain objective as part of the research. The term is known as the measurement. There are two major issues that will be considered for here. The first, you have to understand the fundamental idea of the involved in the measurement. The one is the fundamental idea of the measuring. What do you mean by the term is measuring? The measuring means assigning the numbers or symbols for the data collection. The term is known as the measurement. The scaling is connecting with the measurement. A scaling means measuring something. The term is known as the scaling. Suppose you are measuring the length of a certain notebook. You are using the scales and measuring the length. This notebook have the 15 centimeter. That means measuring the notebook. The measuring something, the term is known as the scaling. The scaling is like a branch of the measurement that involves the construction of the instruments like an associate, the quality construct and the quantitative metric units. This is a part of the measurement. Its measurement is a wider term. The measurement means assigning the numbers, symbols to a certain objective. Suppose like the football game, we can see this measurement. So the number 10 is assigning to this player. The number 9 is assigning to this player. The number 9, the referee is calling always number 9 is come here. The number 8 is come here. That means it's a measurement. The number 8 is measuring this player. The number 7 is measuring this player. So that is one of the important logic. That means assigning the numbers. So to certain objective, the term is known as the measurement. And scaling means the measuring the something. The term is known as scaling. Scale is a branch of the measurement that involves the construction of the instrument and the associate. So we can see sometimes the hot, hotter, hottest. So these are the different types. Hot and hotter, that is a considered large term. Hottest, that means extra large. So that is the logic of the scaling. As one, suppose you are using the term hot. Okay, that is simple. And hotter is much greater than hot. And hottest is much greater than the hotter. So that is the logic of this scaling. Okay, so that is one of the important element is the measurement and the scaling as part of your the research. Okay, then after that, the types of the scale and what are the important types of scales are using this measurement. Measurement point with basic scales are the nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale and the ratio scale. The nominal scale means it's a labeling scale. Suppose your education is SSLC plus 2. That is a part of the nominal scale. Education can be expressed in terms of different labels like a PG, a plus 2, then professional. So that is example regarding the nominal scales. Nominal scale is used for the labeling of this variable without the quantitative values. That is nominal scale. And ordinal scale is quite different. It's like a non-numeric concepts like the satisfaction, the happiness, the discomfort can be easily expressed at the ordinal scale. And these are the ordinal scales that typically measure the non-numeric concepts like the satisfaction, the happiness, the discomfort. And easy to remember because the sound is like an order. The term the ordinal means relating with the order. That key is remember with the ordinal scale. That's like a certain order for the each and every activity. The term is known as the ordinal scale. The first one is nominal related with the labels. And third one is interval scales. Interval scale, one of the important examples like a temperature. It's like a Celsius, 8 Celsius to 9 Celsius. Can be 24 Celsius to 23 Celsius. That means there is a range. There's an interval. It's like a numerical scale which we know both the order and exact differences between the value. Suppose we temperature express the koodiyathu is 27 and korandhu 24. So that is an interval. So the classical example is an interval scale is a Celsius temperature because difference between the each and value of the terms known as the interval scale. And another one is the ratio scale. The ratio scale, this is a measure because they tell about the order. This is another important category of this, tell about the order. And they tell us exact value between the good unit. And there is a good example, ratio variable include height, weight, duration. That is another important example regarding the ratio scale. There is a height, there is a weight and duration. A ratio scale provides the wealth of the possibility when it comes to the statistical analysis. So there is a very important example regarding height, weight, durations, all are the part of the ratio scale because height is 170, 180, that is part of the ratio. And the weight, so similarly there is a ratio. So these are the different basis scale related in the measurement. One is nominal and another one is ordinal. There is an interval scale and there is a ratio scale. These are the different types of the scales. Okay, and so listen, and these are the differences of the different types of scale. We already discussed there is nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio scale. And what is the logic? Suppose labeling. Labeling is always used in the 4 categories of scale. The nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale can use the labels. And meaningful order. Order is not possible in the nominal scale. But ordinal scale, interval scale, ratio scale, we can use the meaningful order. Okay, suppose measurable differences, not possible in the nominal and the ordinal scale. So suppose you are measuring the measurable differences, it's always possible with help of the interval and the ratio scale. And the true zero starting point is only the ratio scale. The zero is the starting point is applicability only in the ratio scale. That's the comparison of the nominal, ordinal, interval and the ratio scale. So labeling is possible in the 4 category of scales like a nominal, ordinal, interval and the ratio. And meaningful order is possible in the ordinal scale and the interval scale and the ratio scale, not possible in the nominal scale. The measurable difference is possible in the interval and the ratio scale, not possible in the ordinal and nominal scale. And true zero starting point is always possible in only in the ratio scale. These are the comparison of the nominal, ordinal and the interval, nominal, ordinal, interval and the ratio scale. Okay, and what are frequently used scaling techniques? As a research point of view, you are using the different types of scale. So what are the frequently used scaling techniques? So one is the comparative scale. The comparative scale is always used for the comparison. Comparing the differences, comparing the attitude of the respondents. So there is a comparative scale. So the following are the different type of the comparative scaling techniques. One is paired comparison and is a continuous rating scale. The following is first one is paired comparison, another one is continuous rating scale. So the comparative scale. So once again there is the comparison of the different statements, and the first one is paired comparison. A paired comparison means can be compared with the pairwise. 2 variables which can be respond need to selected one, and this technique is mainly used time of the product testing. Suppose a product market launch A എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് മാർക്കറ്റ് ലോഞ്ച് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ സമയത്ത് അത് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യണം. ബി ആയിരുന്ന പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്ത് ബി ആയിട്ട് ആ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് സക്സസ് ആണെങ്കിൽ എ ആണ് അവിടെ ലീഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ദെൻ അഗെയിൻ അടുത്ത പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യണം, സി ആയിട്ട് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യണം. ദെൻ എ തന്നെ അവിടെ ലീഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് അഗെയിൻ എ ആണ് അവിടെ ലീഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അങ്ങനെ പെയർ വൈസ് കമ്പാരിസൺസ് ഒക്കെ പലപ്പോഴും ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കും. സോ ഇറ്റ്സ് എ പെയർഡ് കമ്പാരിസൺ സ്കെയിൽ എന്നാണ് എന്നെ പറയുക. So paired comparison symbolize 2 variable from each respondent need to select one. കാരണം 2 പ്രൊഡക്റ്റുകൾ കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അതിൽ ഏറ്റവും നല്ല പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് ഏതാണ് നമുക്ക് വളരെ ഈസി ആയിട്ട് സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കും. ദാറ്റ്സ് എ പാർട്ട് ഓഫ് ദ പെയർഡ് കമ്പാരിസൺ എന്ന് പറയാം. And this is the first category of the comparison scales, paired comparison. And another one is continuous rating scale. That's another important scale is used in the research technique. That's a continuous rating scale. It's a graphical rating scale where the respondents are free to place the object at the position at which their choice. That means that done selecting the marking point of along with the vertical or the horizontal line and range which the extreme criteria. ഇവിടെ നമുക്ക് കുറച്ച് ഗ്രാഫിക്കൽ പോയിന്റ് ഓഫ് വ്യൂ എക്സ്പ്രസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് റേറ്റിംഗ് സ്കെയിൽ ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ഇന്റർവൽ നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ 0 to 10 അപ്പോൾ ഇൻ ബിറ്റ്വീൻ നമുക്ക് അത് എക്സ്പ്രസ് ചെയ്യാൻ സാധിക്കും ദെൻ 10 to 20 അനദർ വേരിയബിൾ നമുക്ക് എക്സ്പ്രസ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കും സോ ദറ്റ് ഇസ് എ ഗ്രാഫിക്കൽ ഫോർമാറ്റ് ദ ഗ്രാഫിക്കൽ റേറ്റിംഗ് സ്കെയിൽ വേർ ദ റെസ്പോണ്ടൻസ് ആർ ഫ്രീ ടു പ്ലേസ് an object. That is another important types of the scale is known as the continuous rating scale. The first one is the comparative, then paired comparison, and there's a continuous rating scale. And another one is the itemized scale. Itemized scale means this scale is mainly for the non-parametric test. This itemized scale is mainly used for the non-parametric test, and this is also known as non-comparative scale. Okay, this is it is emphasizes choosing the particular category among the various given the category of the respondents. But we go item-wise classification, which is good and which is bad. ഗുഡും ബാഡ് രണ്ട് എക്സ്ട്രീമിലേക്ക് വയ്ക്കുകയാണ് ഗുഡിൽ എത്ര ക്ലാസിഫിക്കേഷൻസ് ഉണ്ട് ബാഡിൽ എത്രത്തോളം മോശമായിട്ട് വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട് അപ്പോൾ ഗുഡ് ബാഡ് എന്ന രണ്ട് എക്സ്ട്രീം നമുക്ക് വളരെ പെട്ടെന്ന് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്ത് കൊണ്ടുവരാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കും സോ ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് ടേം ഇസ് നോൺ ആസ് ഐറ്റമൈസ്ഡ് റേറ്റിംഗ് സ്കെയിൽ ആൻഡ് ഈച്ച് ക്ലാസ് ഇസ് ബ്രീഫ്ലി ഡിഫൈൻഡ് ദ റിസർച്ചർ ടു ഫെസിലിറ്റേറ്റ് ദ സെലക്ഷൻ ആൻഡ് ദർ ഇസ് എ മോസ്റ്റ് കോമൺലി യൂസ്ഡ് ഐറ്റമൈസ്ഡ് റേറ്റിംഗ് സ്കെയിൽസ് ആർ ഫോളോ ഇത് നമ്മൾ ഏറ്റവും കോമൺലി യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഐറ്റമൈസ്ഡ് സ്കെയിൽസ് ഇതൊക്കെയാണ് വൺ ഈസ് ലിക്കർട്ട് സ്കെയിൽ semantic difference scale and staple scale. ഇതാണ് നമുക്ക് ഐറ്റം സ്കെയിൽ കോമൺലി നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യാറ് ദ ലിക്കർട്ട് സ്കെയിൽ മീൻസ് എ 5-point scale. That's the 5-point scale is നമുക്ക് അവിടെ 5-point scale കാണാൻ സാധിക്കും. That is the Likert scale. Provided some statements ask the respondents to mark their arrangements. So that is a part of the Likert scale. It's a 5-point rating scale. Another one is semantic difference scale. That means it is a 7-point scale. Semantic difference scale is like a bipolar 7-point scale ആണ് പറയുക. അതിൽ 7 points ലൂടെ നമുക്ക് എക്സ്പ്രസ് ചെയ്യാം. 5-point Likert സ്കെയിലുകൾ വിട്ട് എക്സ്ട്രീമിൽ വരുന്നതാണ് semantic difference scale, where the respondent can mark or any 7 point which given to the attribute. So that is a difference between Likert and semantic difference scale. The Likert scale is focusing on the 5-point scale, and semantic difference scale is focusing on the 7-point scale. And another one is the staple scale. The staple scale itemized rating scale, which measures the response perception or attitude of the response. കാരണം അങ്ങനത്തെ കാര്യം പെർസെപ്ഷൻസ് അതുപോലെ ആറ്റിറ്റ്യൂഡ് ഇത്രയും കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമുക്ക് മെഷർ ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി നമ്മൾ ഏറ്റവും കൂടി യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് സ്റ്റാപ്പിൾ സ്കെയിൽ ആയിരിക്കും. സ്റ്റാപ്പിൾ സ്കെയിൽ ഇസ് മോസ്റ്റ് പ്രോബബ്ലി ഇൻ ബിറ്റ്വീൻ -5 to +5 അല്ല എലിമിനേറ്റിംഗ് ദ 0 എന്ന കൺസെപ്റ്റിൽ -5 to പ്ലസിൻ്റെ ഇടയിൽ നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. ദെൻ eliminating 0 and confining to 10 unit 5 unit or 10 unit പറയും പക്ഷേ ഇൻ ബിറ്റ്വീനിൽ 0 അവിടെ കോട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ ശ്രമിക്കില്ല. സ്റ്റാപ്പിൾസ് ദാറ്റ് ടൈം സ്കെയിൽ ഇസ് നോൺ ആസ് ദ സ്റ്റാപ്പിൾ സ്കെയിൽ. That is the itemized rating scale which measure the response, perception and attitude of the respondent. So always measuring the response, the perception and the attitude of the respondents. So the term is known as the staple scale. Scale is in between -5 to +5 but eliminating the 0. Okay, these are the different types of scale. Frequently used scale, the comparative scale, paired comparison, continuous rating scale, and is itemized scale. The Likert scale, semantic scale and staple scale are the most used itemized rating scale. Comparative scale, paired comparison and the continuous rating scale are the different types of the comparative scales. Okay, these are the most frequently used scale and techniques in the research. And these are some diagrammatic representation of the Likert scale. Suppose the Likert scale is the most relevant scale in the research activity. The Likert scale is always a 5-point scale, and how to quote the 5-point scale is the reason that strongly agree to strongly disagree to strongly agree. The strongly agree is coding 1, disagree 2, neutral 3, average 4, and strongly agree 5. So it's a rating. So academic purpose we are using this Likert scale. A Likert scale, this is a pattern of Likert scale. There is a 5-point scale. There is a 1 is a strongly disagree, and disagree 2, neutral 3, the agree 4, the strongly agree. Another one is the semantic difference scale. The semantic difference scale is on a 7-point scale, and this is 7-point scale. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 2 axis there is a bipolar axis. There is a 2 side, inaccessible and accessible, rude and courteous, and caring and unsympathetic. So there is a 2 extreme. One is a inaccessible, another one is not accessible, and in between there is a 7 scale, is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is the logic of the semantic difference scale. Is a bipolar 7-point non-comparative rating scale, and this is an example regarding the bipolar non-comparative rating scale. There is a 7-point and 2 bipolars. This bipolars mean two point. This is 1 point and 2 point. This is 1 and 2, and it's caring and unsympathetic. So that's an example regarding the semantic difference scale. And after that, the last topic is what do you mean by this fieldwork. And fieldwork, sometimes you were collecting the data through the fieldwork. Other researchers are entering in the field and collecting the data from the field. That same is known as the fieldwork. Sometimes the researchers are giving works from some agency, field working agency, for collecting the data. So let us discuss what you mean by this fieldwork. A fieldwork is a process of data collection using the survey method. So fieldwork means you are collecting the data through the survey method, such as face-to-face interview, telephone, postal and online survey, or the observation. That means collecting the data from the field. And we are using different methods like an interview, the telephone, the postal, your online surveys and observation. The term is known as the fieldwork. They also need to ensure the security of the data. Suppose as per the fieldwork point, you must be ensure the security of the data. As a researcher is collecting the data from the field with help of the interview, telephone, postal, online services. That term is known as the fieldwork. Is a process of the data collection using the survey method. And how to collect this fieldwork? What are the important steps involving the fieldwork, or how to collect the data through the fieldwork? The first one is a pre-testing. At pre-testing of what? You are pre-testing the questionnaire for collecting the data, because you are collecting the data through the questionnaire must be the pre-tested. The first important element of field working is the pre-testing. And second one is simplifying the procedures. So what are the processes are involved for collecting this data? You must be simplify each and every activity for collecting of your data. So that second one is simplifying the procedure. That means each and every activity are involved in the collection process. That is known as simplifying the procedures. Procedure must be simplified. A third, recruitment of selection of the interview. That means suppose the researcher himself collecting the data need not require for the certain type of the interviewer. Otherwise, you are appointing certain person for collecting your data. That this is known as the appointment of the interviewer. ചിലപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് നേരിട്ട് കളക്ട് ചെയ്യാം, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് നേരിട്ട് കളക്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന നോ പ്രോബ്ലം. ചിലപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് നേരിട്ട് കളക്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന സിറ്റുവേഷനിൽ മറ്റുള്ളവർ അപ്പോയിൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട് ചില ഏരിയകളിലേക്ക്. അപ്പോൾ അവർ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഡാറ്റ കളക്ട് ചെയ്തത്. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ അവിടെ കുറച്ച് പേർ നിങ്ങൾ അപ്പോയിൻറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് വരും. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് ഇന്റർവ്യൂവർ നിങ്ങൾ അവിടെ അപ്പോയിൻറ്റ് ചെയ്തു. ദെൻ ഇൻസ്ട്രക്ട് ഫീൽഡ് വർക്കേഴ്സ്. ഇനി ഫീൽഡ് വർക്കേഴ്സ് മുഖേനയാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അവിടെ അവരെ അപ്പോയിൻറ്റ് ചെയ്തതിനു ശേഷം അവർക്ക് ഇൻസ്ട്രക്ഷൻസ് കൊടുക്കണം. കാരണം ആ ഇന്റർവ്യൂസ് മുഖേന ഡാറ്റ കളയുന്നവർക്ക് ആവശ്യമായുള്ള ഇൻസ്ട്രക്ഷൻസ് നമ്മൾ കൊടുക്കേണ്ടതായിട്ട് വരും. സോ ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് ഇൻസ്ട്രക്ടിങ് യു ദ ഫീൽഡ് വർക്ക് and supervising the field work. That means observing the activity of the interviewer. കാരണം ചില ഏരിയ നമുക്ക് പോകാൻ സാധിക്കില്ല. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ അവിടെ ഓൾറെഡി ചിലപ്പോൾ ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് ആൾക്കാർ അപ്പോയിൻറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ അവരെ നമ്മൾ സൂപ്പർവൈസ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടി വരും, അവർക്ക് ആവശ്യമായ ഇൻസ്ട്രക്ഷൻസ് കൊടുക്കേണ്ടതായിട്ട് വരും. ആൻഡ് ഫൈനലി യൂസ് കൺട്രോളിംഗ് ദ എൻറ്റയർ ആക്ടിവിറ്റി. യു മസ്റ്റ് ബി കൺട്രോൾ ആസ് എ റിസർച്ചർ. ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ഓൾവേസ് കൺട്രോളിംഗ് ദ എൻറ്റയർ ആക്ടിവിറ്റി. സോ ഹി മസ്റ്റ് ബി കൺട്രോൾ ഈച്ച് ആൻഡ് എവറി ആക്ടിവിറ്റീസ് ഇൻ യുവർ ഫീൽഡ് വർക്ക്. ദറ്റ് 6th step is the control. These are the different steps are involving the field work. So the one is first is the pre-testing, second is simplify the procedure, the recruitment selection of the interviewer, that means the field worker, and instructing the field worker, and supervision and the control. So let me conclude. The first we discuss what we mean by the term is the schedule. The schedule is one of the important instruments for the collecting of the data, and that means you are the investigator himself recording the entire activities in the research work. So the term is known as the schedule. But the questionnaire, the investigator is not investigating himself. That means the respondents are filled questionnaire. So that is the questionnaire, and it is the schedule. And these are different types of schedule: rating schedule, document schedule, observation schedules. And these are essentials of the good schedule: the content, context, criterion, construction, language, reliable, mechanical aspects, and size. And the pre-testing of the questionnaire and schedule. And what you mean by term is measurement and the scaling. And measurement is designing the number, and symbol scaling is measuring something. It's known as the scaling. There are different types of scale: nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio scale. And these are the comparative elements of different types of scale. And different frequently used scale: comparative scale, paired comparison, continuous rating scale, Likert scale, semantic, and staple scale. And the scale of example regard the Likert scale is a 5-point scale. And the scale of the semantic difference, there's a 7-point scale, and there's a bipolar point. and this is what you mean by this field work, and it's process collecting the data using survey method that's not as a field work. These are different steps for this field work: pre-testing, simplify the procedure, recruitment, and instrument of the field work, instructing your the field workers, supervision and control. These are different steps regarding your the field work. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching me.